Governor Shapiro is responding to the sweeping restrictions on vaccine approvals from the federal government announced last week. Shapiro taking aim at HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. in a Facebook post and announcing Pennsylvania will enact policies to provide vaccinations outside of the limited groups the federal government has approved.
With the nation's public health agencies in deep turmoil, Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. facing tough questions today in a Senate hearing. Republicans demanding answers, too.
What I'm most interested in is restoring the confidence of the American people in public health in America. And so far that hasn't been done. There's just been too much chaos.
The Senate's top Republican questioning the firing of Centers for Disease Control Director Dr. Susan Menares 1 month into the job, calling for stability and adding that supporting vaccines should not be disqualifying for the new CDC head amid an overhaul to the nation's vaccine approval process and new restrictions on COVID shots that pushed other top CDC officials to resign in protest.
I just saw science really being compromised, and I was concerned about scientific integrity.
Secretary Kennedy, a longtime vaccine skeptic, has said the CDC made missteps during the pandemic and defended the shakeup at the agency.
We are fixing it, and it may be that some people should not be working there anymore.
States now staking out their own rules, with Florida announcing it would eliminate all statewide vaccine mandates, including in schools.
Who am I as a man standing here now to tell you what you should put in your body?
Medical experts raising concerns like this year's deadly measles outbreak in Texas, as blue states, California, Washington, and Oregon plan to coordinate their vaccine recommendations separate from the federal government, pointing to a fractured state of public health. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
And Governor Shapiro is responding to the sweeping restrictions on vaccine approvals from the federal government announced last week. Shapiro taking aim at HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. in a Facebook post and announcing Pennsylvania will enact policies to provide vaccinations outside of the limited groups that the federal government has approved. Shapiro writing, quote, "Last week, RFK Jr. made the outrageous decision to limit access to the COVID vaccine and take healthcare decisions out of the hands of doctors and patients. I took immediate action and called on our state board of pharmacy to ensure vaccine access for those most in need, like seniors and those with underlying conditions. CVS will now resume administering vaccines as soon as possible at locations throughout Pennsylvania. I'll keep standing up for your rights against the overreach by the Trump administration." Meanwhile, on the other side of the aisle, Florida plans to end vaccine mandates statewide, including for school children. U.S. exemption rates have been rising for years now, and in 2024-2025 school year, a record share of incoming kindergartners skipped their required shots. This move would make Florida the first state to end a long-standing and constitutionally upheld practice of requiring certain vaccines for school-age children. Our Jaden Vogel has more now on that. Good morning, Jaden. What can you tell us?
Good morning, Jonathan. Well, Florida Surgeon General announcing Wednesday that Florida is planning to end vaccine mandates statewide. This would make Florida the first state to end the long-standing practice of requiring certain vaccines for school students. The announcement swiftly met with concern from health experts. The Florida chapter of the American Academy of Pediatrics says that this will put children in Florida public schools at higher risk for getting sick, which in turn could affect the communities. Florida Surgeon General making the case that vaccination should be an individual choice, but health experts contend that freedom of choice has the potential to impact others.
Vaccines in your body, God bless you. And I hope you make an informed decision. And that's how it should be. That is a moral, ethical universe, not this nonsense where people who don't know you are telling you what to put in your temple, the temple of your body.
All 50 states have had school immunization requirements since the 1980s for diseases including measles, polio, and tetanus. All states allow medical exemptions, and most allow for exemptions due to personal or religious beliefs. Reporting live in the studio, Jaden Vogel, 6 News.